Previously on Legends of Aelos. Staged a massive stone door, Murdoch states that this is the furthest his crew has come, as he motions for some of his diggers to begin prying open the gateway into the deeper chambers of the temple. While waiting for the diggers to accomplish their task, Asher makes certain he won't be the only one unable to see in the dark, as a quake rumble courses through the earth, shaking the chamber walls. The other dwarfs work even more expediently at that, though there is still some time for Murdoch to draw the party's attention to an ominous sight, as behind the thick ice that both encases and forms the walls, a gargantuan skeleton can be seen, supine and spanning a distance so large that it can only be assumed it covers the entirety of the temple, the burial ground of a titan, one of the world walkers, and its disciples. Murdoch marks on the party's map the current location of the temple they're in, along with another that was strikingly similar, as the diggers get the leverage to open the door, though, as the seal cracks, all bear witness to the potential dangers hidden within, as a mist seeps out and envelops some of those workers, freezing all but half of one caught in the trap solid. The perils are now certainly more apparent than ever to the six. They form rank with Cole and Asher backing up Aurelia as their eyes and guides forward into the frozen tomb. There are myriad threats, one such a ghostly apparition striking at the party as its corporeal form quickly flashes from one wall to the next. Karun is able to inflict a blow upon it with a deft reaction, but the spirit is cunning enough to not remain exposed for a follow-up. They come to a chamber with a bust in the center, a necklace draped around it, along with 6 large sculptures of hands in different positions, and all with an inset where water flows like a river, but downward, the liquid fully contained within the monolithic pedestal. Eventually, the party is able to deduce the puzzle's logic, and after they each take a pedestal and mimic the hand formation upon it with their own, whilst it is submerged within the flowing water, the door in the corner of the room unlocks, and they proceed deeper after Rowan passes the necklace to Bree before they depart. They assume the same rank and file as they delve even deeper, the same ghost hounding their steps through the hallway to the next chamber. As they enter, inside they see 4 statues depicting a knight, mage, cleric, and barbarian, each with a token object, and above the entrance, a massive crystalline arachnid ready to strike from above. They take their time pondering over the puzzle and its hint, though they ultimately come to 2 potential conclusions. And though Cole's proposition turns out to be correct, they attempt a direct assault from the barbarian first, which leads to them having to strike down the arachnid themselves, only for it and the statues to be replaced when the puzzle resets. Fortunately, the reset also returns the items that were destroyed in the failed attempt, and following Cole's proposed solution, the barbarian statue now opens the pathway forward for them, which they proceed to do so after collecting the items from the statues. One final hallway later, they arrive to a massive chamber room filled with treasures and gems, along with another riddle, which alludes to the party needing to wait for the final door to open. The party knows they must proceed into that last chamber, the crystal they seek not apparent among the objects around them. However, Murdoch grows impatient and almost hostile as the party pleads for him and his men to not start looting until after they've attempted to solve the puzzle. Though there is contention, eventually logic prevails, and Murdoch even grants them a small portion of the gold and some diamonds for resurrections after awaiting the time to elapse. After the dwarves begin bagging and departing with their newfound hoard, the 6 adventurers enter the last chamber, a proper-looking tomb of soldiers and followers, and at the back of the left wall, the massive skull of the titan entombed in the ice surrounding them, and lodged within its forehead, their objective, the crystal. Not wanting to jump at the presentation of it for fear of other traps, they take a moment to assess as Bree begins to identify the items they had gathered. Eventually, though, Another rumbling shudder, and ice begins to break away in some areas of the room, as Von Salat's roar once again stretches far across the Arctic lands of the north. With the items identified, the party ends their rest and approaches the skull, eyeing the crystal, knowing that they are running out of time. And it is from here we shall continue the story of the Legends of Aelos.